were many important people in the Civil War, but today we will be telling you about 6 men by the names of Abraham Lincoln, Jefferson Davis, Ulysses S. Grant, Robert E. Lee, Andrew Johnson, and Rutherford Hayes.
I am Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. I had the job of Commander-in-Chief of the Union Army. My role was to make the most important decisions and appoint leaders. Around halfway through the war, in 1863, I issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring that all slaves in the opposing states would be set free. I also gave my Gettysburg Address at a cemetery to honor the soldiers who had fought and died in the war. Most citizens thought I was an amazing president, but others just liked my view of slavery. Therefore, 5 days after the South surrendered, I was shot and killed on April 14, 1865, by John Wilkes Booth while watching a play at the Ford Theater.
My name is Jefferson Davis. I was appointed to West Point Military Academy when I was 16. I have been involved in many battles with different Native American groups. I was appointed Congressman of Mississippi in 1846 and to the United States Senate in 1847. A little later, I became President of the Confederate Army. I entrusted the Confederate generals on decisions during the war. After the surrender of the Confederate Army, I was imprisoned for a short time. In 1889, I died in New Orleans and was buried in Richmond, Virginia, which was the capital of the Confederacy.
I am Ulysses Simpson Grant, and I was the 2nd lieutenant and rose to the rank of captain after the Mexican-American War. However, I resigned from the military service in 1854. After my short farming career failed, I joined the Union Army after the North States started to lose a series of battles. I served as a general and am known to have required unconditional surrender of the Confederacy. In 1866, I was promoted to full general and oversaw the military operations during the Reconstruction period. I was elected President of the United States in 1869 and served for 2 terms. In 1885, I died and was buried in New York City.
My name is Robert E. Lee, and I was a general. I had strong emotions toward the Union and negative feelings about slavery. Throughout the Civil War, I won many battles, but on April 9, 1865, I surrendered to General Grant at the Appomattox Courthouse. I was buried in Virginia. I am Andrew Johnson. I was a United States Senator in Tennessee and later became the military general and worked all the way up to being Vice President next to Lincoln. After President Lincoln was assassinated, I became president from 1865 to 1869. While I was president, I focused on the presidential reconstruction. I restored all the privileges of the southern states and gave them entitlement to be part of the U.S. Congress. After my term as president ended, I tried for other government positions. I was unsuccessful in being elected as a senator and a representative, but finally, in 1874, I was elected into the Senate. I served the country until I died on July 31st, 1875.
I, Rutherford Hayes, spent most of my early adult years in the military. I joined as a volunteer for 3 years and became a commissioned major of the 23rd Regiment in Ohio. Because of my leadership in the military, I was elected in the 39th and 40th Congress. I later resigned because I had been nominated to be Ohio's governor from 1868 to 1872. I was re-elected as governor beginning in January 1876 and served for just over a year. I then became the 19th President of the United States, governing from 1877 to 1881. During my years in office, I signed numerous bills. One of the powerful ones allowed female attorneys to bring a case to the Supreme Court. I did not seek re-election at the end of my term. In 1893, I passed away due to complications from a heart attack. Thank you for watching our video on the Civil War. I hope you enjoyed and learned some new facts.
The end.